So let's start by looking at the discursive essay. In a discursive essay, you are writing an argument about a topic, and the main feature of a discursive essay is that you are presenting both sides of an argument. So, for example, if you look at topic 1.2, international sportsmen and women have a social obligation to make proper moral choices. Okay, of course, as I've said previously, with any question in an English exam, the first thing you do is to highlight the key words in the question. And you stick to those keywords when you write. Please don't go off topic because that will reduce your essay mark. One of the things the examiners are looking for is whether you are writing on the topic. So if you look at topic 1.2, you're going to argue both sides. You're going to argue the yes and the no side. So under the yes, what I came up with was international sportsmen and women are an example to young people who are searching for role models. They must remain humble and remember the support of their fans who help them become successful. On the no side, everyone is human and should not be expected to be perfect. Their role is to play sport and not to be a moral compass for the youth. So there you can easily come up with 4 ideas, and each of those ideas will be a paragraph. So, for example, you can test yourself. Would you be able to write a paragraph about my first idea? The fact that international sportsmen and women are role models for the youth. So you can, this is a good way of planning your discursive essays if you make it in a table so that you get your negative and your positive sides clearly laid out. A discursive essay should be objective, which means you are not expressing your feelings. Try not to use personal pronouns I and me. So use the style and technique that you were taught for the literature essay. Revise that you can apply to your discursive essay. You may express yourself subjectively in the conclusion, so there you can give your opinion in the conclusion. And remember the formula for writing an essay, which I taught you with regards to literature essay, that you only need 4 to 5 good main ideas to create a good essay. Each of those ideas will become a paragraph. In writing the paragraphs, you can also use the Peel technique. You can follow those guidelines. Each paragraph must have a topic sentence followed by a discussion of what is mentioned in the topic sentence. So that is kind of vaguely using the Peel technique where you have your main point and then your explanation and your examples. Very, very important is to give examples. Do not be vague. Don't discuss vague ideas. Give real life examples. For example, you could use Sia Kolisi as a positive example and also think of negative examples like Pistorius. So as far as possible, give concrete examples for this type of essay. A discursive essay is easier to write than an argumentative essay because in a discursive essay, you're coming up with the positives and the negatives, which means you can generate more ideas in a short period of time. Question 1.5 could also be a discursive essay. You could give examples of your friends as the best brains of the nation. And remember, if you are discussing your friends in class, don't mention anybody's names because this is against the exam regulations. Make up names. So here is an example of a discursive essay, and the question was, should schools do away with school uniforms? This is a fairly average essay written by a learner. And take note that the introduction outlines both sides of the argument. State your essay topic in your very first sentence if you can. So read through this essay because it will show you what a discursive essay should look like. So I have not put the entire essay here, but I've just put this extract to show you what the style should look like. It's an objective style, and you can see that there are clear topic points to each paragraph, and there are good examples that are given. And this is something that you all know about. So one of the rules for writing paper 3 is try to write what you know about, because you will come up with a better piece of writing. And there is your conclusion. So come up, maybe choose 2 topics from the November 2022 paper and practice writing your essay plans. If you want to, you can write an entire essay. And you see in the conclusion, it is a little bit more personal. The learner is using I, and it is a bit more subjective, and that's fine for a conclusion. Okay, descriptive essay is the most difficult type of essay. You must consider very carefully whether this is the best type of essay for you. If you are someone who writes as a hobby and you have written a lot and you know that you have a gift for descriptive writing, then that's fine. You could write a very good essay. So in a descriptive essay, you would describe an event, an experience, an object, or a person. And you are essentially painting a picture with your words. So look over the topics for that paper again and decide which of them could become a descriptive essay. Remember, in a descriptive essay, the time frame, you are writing about a very short period of time. You're not writing about a lifetime. It could be an hour or maybe a couple of hours, but you are kind of basically freezing time and you're focusing on the description more than the storyline and the plot. Write about something you have personally experienced. It'll be easier to come up with and generate ideas. Use the first person I. And once again, remember not to change tenses, to keep changing your tenses. Avoid that. So in your introduction, be very clear what the essay is going to be about. For example, question 1.8, it's a picture. What could this essay be about? Is that a street in Italy? Is it a street in Cape Town? Decide where it is. It looks like it has been raining. Take note of the bicycle. It should appear in your story. Don't leave out the bicycle. They will check and see whether you have included all the elements of the picture. Describe everything. Use your 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, sound, and sight. You don't have to use every single one of the 5 senses, but try to include those sensory descriptions. Make sure that you have 1 or 2 characters, otherwise you might run out of things to write about. So you have to have something to develop the story a little bit. For example, a girl comes walking down the street. What is she wearing? How is she feeling? Describe her. So there you can go to town on your description if a character appears in the story. Decide on the time of the day and the season. Does this happen in winter, summer, spring, or autumn? Does it happen in the early morning or at dusk, which is just before evening? And this will add atmosphere to your descriptions. Early morning is sunrise, birds are singing, sun is shining. Dusk is when everything's getting dim and the day is coming to a close, and so on. Okay, and there is a suggested structure for your descriptive essay. All right, here's an example of a descriptive essay. Please just pause the video and read through the example. It's a very simple essay. This is just about somebody's bedroom, and it makes a good essay. It's interesting, and it is about something that the learner is familiar with. Could you write an essay about your bedroom? Okay, and it's also written in very clear and simple language. That is really important. Clear, simple sentences. Write short sentences. Don't write a sentence that lasts for an entire paragraph. Make your sentences nice and short and clear, and use vocabulary that you understand. Argumentative essay, follow the same process as discursive, but now you only show one side of the argument. So it is probably more difficult to write because you have to generate more ideas. So here I'm going to explain a few tricks and techniques for your introduction and conclusion to make it a bit more interesting. So essay hooks to grab the attention. Where will the hook come? It's going to come in your introduction. You can start with a question. You can make a strong statement. You could give a fact or a statistic, or you can give a quotation. So maybe you want to learn a few quotations from famous people. You can use that in your introduction. That can be your first sentence of your introduction. And then the clincher statements is what you would use in your conclusion. So this could be your final sentence of your essay. It's got to end on a strong note. Don't write a weak conclusion. So here are a few clincher statements. So you could practice that as well, writing your introduction statements and your concluding statements. And then finally, what I put at the very end of this video, things not to do. Do not say, I woke up and it was all a dream. That's very cliche, and it's a very weak ending. Do not say anywhere in any of your essays, long story short, or to cut a long story short, and do not say etc., etc. You must write proper sentences and words. Do not say etc. All right. So I will also make another lesson on things not to do in your essay writing, but I have probably covered most of them in the past 2 videos.